Welcome back, folks. There is no better place to buy a boat than Madisonville Marine. Their selection of boats, makes, models, styles of boats, unmatched in East Tennessee, all the way from Georgia to Nashville, I'm telling you. Prices are great, customer service is fantastic. 45 years they've been doing it, right on Highway 411 North in Madisonville. Got a great place, great showroom, great big lot full of boats. Get down there and check them out, or visit madmarine.com to learn more. All right. I personally don't think there's any question that you are now at your new low. 3-7 record, possible roster drain. As of today, your roster is drained. It may fill up a little bit, but it's drained at the moment. 4 open slots on the coaching staff. Potential for harsh NCAA sanctions led to a coaching change and an AD change. To me, this is the new low. Anybody want to disagree with me?
Yeah, I don't think we can disagree with you. Can it go lower is the only question I think we have to ask.
It's a new low for now.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go there that it can't go lower. But this is the new low for sure. I mean, you're looking at a whole host of things. Everybody had always talked about, I remember people telling me after Fulmer was fired early on, 10 years we'll be back, we'll get the right coach, he'll take some up and downs. I mean, this is a long time. I mean, you're talking 20 years before you're potentially competing in the SEC championship games again?
It's been 22 years since 23 years now, since 98, since you won an SEC title.
I mean, this is long-term stuff. So to sit here and say that, this isn't a new low, this is the low, because you've been a long time in the desert, and now you're saying, we got to go back to the beginning of this journey and restart again. But by the way, we've got a few weights tugging at us now. There is no lower than low right now.
The idea was, it won't go any lower than it did with Butch Jones. This is lower in my view.
To me, you could argue about whether the personnel is, we don't know whether it's going to be worse yet because we don't know what's going to happen to shake out. But personnel, as far as when Butch Jones left and when Dooley left and when Kiffin left and all that stuff, so you could argue about personnel. But you also, during those times, didn't have this NCAA cloud over you. So in my opinion, and I was looking at this, I think this is the lowest point Tennessee's had in football since about 1963, before they hired Doug Dickey. I think it's that bad right now. But not necessarily all the personnel, it's the fact that you don't know what's going to happen with the NCAA. So to me, the job is probably less attractive than it's been since the 60s.
When Majors came back, he had that, coming off a national championship, which gave him the boost. And you had steady leadership at the top of the administration. There was none; those were guys who'd been there for a while when he came in, so that made that situation better because it was low in '76 when he came in too. But it's probably got to go back to Doug Dickey, the modern. When you went to the T formation, that's how long you got to go back. Do you agree, David? This is the worst situation, or no?
I think big picture, I think the roster is a little bit better than what Jeremy Pruitt inherited from Butch Jones. But the big picture, again, the NCAA stuff. There's a perception is reality factor too here. I mean, we're sitting here with McDonald's bags on the desk, and Phil Fulmer is talking about how good recruiting was as he's firing a coach for illegal recruiting tactics. Like the Tennessee punchline stuff, like that hurts you in perception across the board. Coaches, athletic directors, assistant coaches, players, recruits parents. If you're a recruit parent right now and you're sitting there with a 2022 class and you're not from Tennessee, you don't have a relationship with Tennessee, what's your perception of Tennessee right now if you're a top 100 recruit? Like, a coach is going to have to talk you into coming here because they're going to have to explain, all that stuff's in the past. We'll see, but your brand strength is low. And I think, again, Danny White talked about that. I think there's something to the fact that that's why he likes this challenge ahead of him, but it's a big challenge.
Okay, so let me ask you this. The guy who credited recruiting was pretty good as you fired again. Philip Fulmer was hired to come back and fix things. It's now worse than it was when he took over. He's leaving with a $37,500 a month deal for the next 3 years to go away. To me, he's been asking people, sending out requests from donors, dig deep we've lost money due to COVID. Well, now you're going to be taking the money. You're taking $1.3 million. To me, it is the epitome of all that's wrong with Tennessee. Hey, does Philip Fulmer have Tennessee ties? Oh, everybody's got to have that? Yes. Did you give him a raise when no one was coming after him? Yep. He was going to add 40% to his salary this year, 2-year extension to $1.4 million if this kicked in. And are you giving him a gift when he's fired? Yes. That's it. That's the Tennessee trifecta, all three. I can't believe He said he was coming back because he loves the orange. I think he loves the green just as much. Your thoughts on Philip Fulmer getting paid $1.3 million after this?
I think it'd be a nice gesture on his part to say, you know what, I didn't get this thing fixed in football, and I'll bypass that, and I'll just go into the night, and y'all can take it. Now, that's not going to happen, but I think that would be a nice gesture because you could use that $1.3 million to help pay for the new AD or the new football coach or facilities or whatever. And I know, but I think it would be a nice gesture on his part to decline that, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I just would have a hard time standing up with a straight face and taking it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I understand the Tennessee instinct of you got this coach that sort of presided over the last glory years. You don't want to drag him through the mud.
You
But
didn't.
the concept of like you're going to laud him at the sort of press conference that he's presided over 3 years of the football program that has not worked. He handpicked a hire that did not work, and then on top of that, you're going to sort of send him out to pasture with a lot of money with him. I mean, at some point you have to stand up and say, like, no, like this didn't work. And either you don't pay him and you say, we're not going to pay you, but we're not going to drag you through the mud. Or we're going to say, like, this guy did not get this done. We're going to send him away. He's not going to do anything
one
with
or the
it. And then
other.
here's your money to please, like, go away. The both is where you really start rubbing people the wrong way.
Right. I mean, if they said all the right things at the press conference. They said this one has nothing to do with the other. This has nothing to do with Jeremy Pruitt. And they said, we're just as proud of you tonight as we were in Tempe. Fine. Then hand the money back. All right, I'm not going to make you answer because you played for the man. I'll leave you out of it. But I'll say this. If you thought George Bailey had a wonderful life, take a look at this. No, it's Philip Fulmer. Every time he leaves, people come up and hand him cash. There's Donde Plowman, there's Randy Boyd, Jim Haslam in the front. Every time a bell rings, Philip Fulmer's getting a check from UT. All right. When we come back, how should Danny White go about this search? I'm going to give you my rules of engagement, my coach search maxims, and then we'll let everybody else tear it to shreds. That's next on The Sports Source.